Hey guys, Julia here. Welcome back to another video, and today I'm setting up my bullet journal for June, my birthday month, also a month where we're taking a fun trip, so things are going to look a little bit different this go around. And I'm actually setting up the entire month in this video because I already know there's going to be like zero time to do it on a week by week basis. So yeah, excited to hang out with you guys as I knock this out. Definitely feel free to plan along with me. The theme this month was, of course, chosen by my lovely patrons, and it's a retro metro theme. So let's get into it. Oh yeah, quick disclaimer, as I'm working on the cover page here, something funky was going on with the camera. I'm actually trying out a whole new filming situation, but caught it luckily, so things should look a little better in about a minute. Sorry about that. But this entire theme was built around this one photo by Rebecca Plotnick. I'll pop that up on the screen, but it's a shot of a New York City subway car, I guess in the 70s, but I really have no idea. But I just love the vibes, the colors, and yeah, there's a lot to work with here in making a bullet journal theme. So I thought it would be a little bit of a challenge, but just a fun creative practice to try to build an entire bullet journal theme around a single image. If you're ever feeling stuck on what theme to do and want to also just flex some creativity, do recommend. So I'm just finishing up this little Metro bucket seat and pole, adding in some highlights with an acrylograph, but again this month I'm mostly using water-based markers, Tombows, Calligraphs, Staedtler dual tip markers. I'll leave links to everything I can down in the description if you're curious, of course, but I am also doing outlines in a brown fine liner for a softer look overall. Really, I just wanted this entire theme to feel a little more minimal than what I usually do, and just sort of embrace white space where I can. I suppose bringing in some of that graphic design discipline, I guess, but for whatever reason, it's just way harder to be more minimal in my journal. But for the cover page here, I'm making a little station sign modeled after the New York subway signs, again, just because those are so iconic. As you saw, I used brown paper for that, but also colored on top of it for a little more texture. The lettering inspiration comes from a very famous font called Helvetica, and this is the font that you see on all the New York subway signs. Okay, flipping over, I've got another fun doodle happening, this time of the subway car doors. Very simple shapes, really just rectangles here, but believe it or not, this is the monthly calendar spread. I think the last time I changed up my monthly calendar layout was the bubblegum theme, so like February 2021, and I hated it, and I never did anything else other than the typical calendar grid. But my journal buddy Jessica, I'll leave her channel below, she did an entire video on different monthly calendar layouts, and I saw this vertical calendar situation and thought it would be fun to sort of spice things up and maybe confuse myself a little bit, so here we are. I'm going to let myself get in these sparkles in the line number 6 before talking more about this calendar. Okay, so I'm going to try to explain this calendar without totally confusing you. So instead of running the days and the numbers horizontally like a traditional calendar grid, you're running everything vertically. So then your columns just become like week 1, week 2, and so on. And this works really well, at least in a B5, because there's plenty of vertical space, obviously, and I can fit the entire calendar on one page and not have the individual squares be super small. These are 5 spaces wide by 6 spaces tall, so still plenty of room to write in. I don't know, I just have a good feeling about this layout, so I'll definitely report back on how it goes. I feel like I did not explain it very well, but as you can see, everything just runs down, like vertically instead of horizontally. The inspiration for the day headers and the way it connects to the word June is actually like metro maps. When like planning trips to larger cities, I always reference metro maps to figure out how to get from point A to point B or deciding where to stay, because it's always just super convenient to be close to a metro station. So yeah, that was the inspiration for that. And here's the completed monthly calendar page. All right, moving along. Next up is my night log, where I track what we have for dinner every night and also what we watch with dinner, if anything. For the header, I'm taking inspiration from another famous subway system, the London Underground. This is a play on that iconic logo, which was created in 1908, which is wild. But I'm just using the colors in the theme to have everything go together, of course. And you'll see that I'm only tracking 28 days because we're leaving at the end of the month and I'm not taking my journal with me. So just about everything is catered to 28 days instead of 30. And here's the decorative sticker sheet for this month, available in the Etsy shop on June 1st. There's always a new set available on the 1st of the month, so be sure to give the shop a like to keep up with those updates. But I'm using some of the sticker designs for my habit tracker page, keeping it really slick, just right up the middle, again using white space as an intentional element. And if you've seen my setups before, this looks a little slim, only tracking 3 habits and just eliminating the focus check-in this month. I honestly just didn't feel like it, and that's cool. That's why we love the bullet journal. We can do what we want, when we want. Yep. And the next page I'm working on is the work dashboard. The header here is the Paris Metro logo, but turned upside down, so it's a W instead of an M for work. Very clever, right? So this page is where I keep up with long-term design projects. If you didn't gather from all the logo references, I'm a designer specializing in brand identity and development. So yeah, this is where I keep up with all of our projects and what stage they're in. Pretty straightforward table here, along with an area for invoices and upcoming projects down on the bottom. But yeah, still loving how this page functions for me. This next page is mostly for notes, but it's also a little bit of a hype train. I love a good countdown moment. So, the trip. We are going to Portugal and Spain almost for an entire month. It's crazy. I've been hinting at it a little bit on here, so there'll be a little bit of a quiet time here on YouTube, and I've really been working hard these last few months to get everything knocked out for my patrons and with these videos, and it's really been fun, really. But also I'm gonna be ready for a little break, not even gonna lie. But you know, maybe there'll be a little vlog or something when we get back. And in the meantime, definitely follow me over on Instagram because I love posting travel stuff over there. But yeah, this is a little countdown to the trip. So a very simple function here. Every day I'll just get a little more excited as I fill in the bubble. And yeah, that'll be that. Very much looking forward to the food, the wine, the museums, just the culture. So yeah, any recommendations, throw them down in the comments, please, and thank you. All right, let's get into the weeklies here. I've already done some prep work here and I'll explain what I have going on. I've cut some Dutch doors and tabs here. I usually don't like cutting along the spine just because it's sort of a pain and you never really get a clean cut, but I just went for it. A pro is that I only have to draw sort of one image across the spread, but I've created some tabs here and I have a very minimal spread for every week, and then the back page will be like some last minute trip planning. Along the top, I'm drawing in a subway train, and I'm definitely keeping this very simplistic, almost like an icon style. Again, very simple shapes, mostly rounded rectangles and straight lines. It was actually very hard for me not to color this in or add too much detail, but I think keeping it simple really complemented the theme. But anyway, as I'm getting this knocked out, I thought I'd check in and ask how you guys are feeling. The world is still wacky, so I hope everyone is hanging in there and taking care of themselves. I started in-person therapy after doing BetterHelp online for a little bit, but man, it's been pretty great, and I honestly wish I was able to do it sooner. And I know therapy is such a privilege, and I'm really grateful for that, but yeah, I just wish it was something that was more normalized, especially in the Black community. But yeah, just a little tangent. I just wanted to check in with you guys. But I'm finishing up the metro train here, and you'll see I'll go back over some of the window areas with a white paint pen, and then moving down to this first weekly. This area on the left is a little flex space that I can just use for whatever comes up. More recently, I've been using flex spaces for weekend to-dos, which seems a little weird because there's definitely a weekend box for that, but for some reason I've been making separate task lists like on Saturday and on Sunday, and it's really been helping me get shit done. So yeah, I've been also using flex space for Mondays, which I've been trying to take up as an admin day for the business. So I'll do a little admin day list. So yeah, I've been liking having the extra space for whatever comes up. Right now, I'm just setting up the weekly tabs using different colors from the theme. The last page is not even a tab, but I'm drawing one in, sort of a faux tab, if you will. And you can see how it brings everything together when all the Dutch doors are closed up. And in usual Julia fashion, I made a mistake on the first daily box. The month starts on a Wednesday and not a Monday, so I ended up doing a quick change of plans there, and I'm just going to end up blacking out 2 of the days and go for a reverse style on those. There's always a fix. And then, with the wave of my hand and a little editing magic, all the rest of the weeklies shall be done. I'll show you how those turned out in the final flip through, but in the meantime, I'll move on to this last page, which is the last little mini weekly where I have a flex space, an event area, and then a little rolling task list. This other side is also quick and easy to set up, and it's going to be a little last minute checklist for the trip, and I'm breaking this down by week, so every box corresponds to the color of the weekly tab, and I'll just have some prep items to do each week. I just like to be super prepared when we leave the country so we can have a good time and things go as smoothly as possible. I'm obviously a planner, but when it comes to working on the itinerary stuff, I don't really overplan. I like to leave a lot of open time to just explore and get lost, but at the same time, there's still a lot of planning that goes into it. I usually design a whole almost app for our trips, but this time I've been using Notion, which was super fun. Hopefully that goes well. But yeah, that's gonna do it for all the weekly spreads, and yeah. Before we flip through all the spreads for this month, I gotta show off the Patreon Metro kit. When you join the collection, you get access to not only this month's printables, but also all previous month's kits. These really make recreation super easy, and there are even coloring spreads where you can add your own twist to the theme. The 2 highest tiers get monthly stickers delivered right to their door. Each month there's a decorative sheet with illustrations straight from the setup, a functional sheet, usually with trackers and headers, and a die-cut sticker. This month's sticker is a cute Metro Polaroid situation. Check out the link in my description if you want to join our little collection community. But let's go ahead and flip through all of the spreads for the entire month of June. I'm excited about how this theme turned out and about changing up some of the usual spreads. It's just always fun to try new things in my bullet journal. Let me know what you guys think about everything down in the comments. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much if you have. And thank you for watching. I'm honestly gonna miss you guys, but I'm looking forward to creating some fresh new content when we get back. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. And if you like this video, here are a couple more I think you would enjoy.